Iron Mike Tyson draws with Roy Jones Jr. Knuckleheads, welcome to the post-fight show, post-fight reaction. I'm your host, George with the Fighters Rep, and this was kind of all over the place. You know, this was a fitting event for a year in 2020 where we've seen some really strange stuff. We had some really strange fights on this card. But, you know, obviously the fight that sticks out for us is the Tyson versus Jones fight. Listen, not a lot of people expected, in my opinion, for Mike Tyson to look as good as he did tonight. Now, I'm not going to go out there like some of these goofy people and say that he's got a shot at becoming a heavyweight contender or anything like that. But considering how long Mike Tyson was out of the pro game, especially relative to Roy Jones, you gotta admit, Mike Tyson looked very good tonight. With regards to, you know, what we expected to see, I think. You know, I did not expect Mike Tyson to look good. In my opinion, I thought the draw was kind of crazy. Probably, again, just a money grab, and we know it's there, and we know it's BS, but, you know, we still purchase it and tune in and want to see what happens. That's, you know, that's boxing for you. But, you know, the draw was BS. I felt like Tyson went out there. He dictated the pace. He landed the bigger shots. I felt like he landed more shots. Roy Jones was just kind of pitter-pattering and getting the hell out the way. I also felt like Jones was extremely tired. Tyson, here's the other crazy thing. Tyson looked to be in way, way better shape than Roy Jones Jr. I mean, I felt like halfway through the bout, Roy Jones was already gassed. Maybe even sooner. I felt like Roy Jones was gassed. Tyson kept coming. Even at the very end of the fight, I mean, Tyson was a little bit winded, but not what you would expect from somebody who's been through what Tyson's been through, done to himself physically what Tyson has, and also, you know, somebody who's been out the ring for that long and is 53 years old or something like that. I mean, I was very impressed by Tyson's performance, you know. And again, I mean, I'm not saying this to say that, you know, I'm clamoring to watch the rematch. I mean, listen, it's just going to be another money grab. I think if they do it, they should employ more young fighters because there's a lot of young, hungry, starving fighters, especially out here in California where they did the event, that could fill up the undercard and do a better job of doing so. Listen, I'm not a hater on Jake Paul, who was on the undercard. But that fight was horrible. That was a horrible fight to watch. It was scary to see what he did to Nate Robinson. I mean, look, he's obviously good enough to knock out Nate Robinson. But does that mean that, you know, does that mean that he can be a real deal professional boxer and fight guys who've been doing this their whole life? You know, that remains to be seen. That being said, you know, I'm not trying to see a former NBA basketball player go in there again and scrap it out with a young guy, whether he's a real fighter or not. I mean, that was really disturbing to watch. And you know, they say you don't play boxing, and you really don't play boxing. I mean, if anybody could have really, really gotten hurt tonight, it was Nate Robinson. Not only did he get knocked out, but he face planted hard after getting knocked out. And that was very sad to see. Agar Packer, no, we're not going to have the actual fight airing. This is just post-fight discussions. This is what we do on Saturday nights. We call it Get It Right Saturday Night. Today we're talking about Tyson versus Jones. Shout out to you, Marco Martinez, Paul Martinez, George Estrada, Moses, CP, and Love All Hate None. Shout out to all of you guys for being in here. Thank you for joining us. If this is your first time, hit the subscribe button, the bell notification icon next to it. Join Knucklehead Nation. hit the like button, man. More likes, please. 20 of you in there. Hit the like button. We do daily content. We have free fights, our own fights on this, on this channel. We do daily commentary from the mind of a promoter slash lawyer, myself, and we also do interviews constantly with fighters and coaches and other people in the fight game here in California. So I'd appreciate you guys subscribing. But yeah, kind of a strange event, again, during a strange time. I mean, I think that sums it up. I did enjoy watching Mike Tyson, try to bang somebody out of there. I really did enjoy it. I felt like Tyson was really going for it. You could hear his punches landing. I mean, he still's got a thud on those punches, and he was like really ripping those punches, man. I mean, he's still got good speed and good power for his age, man. But yeah, I mean, again, don't get fooled into thinking, this is more than what it is. This was like a Legends fight, like a Masters fight. And I also look forward to seeing what happens with Tyson's Legends Only League. I think he could have some success there if he gets the right names in the ring. That being said, the Athletic Commission is going to have its work cut out for it. Because again, you don't play boxing, and when you're a little bit older, and maybe you've lost a step or two, then you could get Nate Robinson, which happened tonight. You don't want to get Nate Robinson where, you fight a really young dude, in a sport that's not your sport. You do it for views or clicks or money or whatever. I mean, I understand all that. But then, you get nailed and you go face first into the canvas. Listen, Robinson got dropped 2 times, I believe it was, before that final knockout too, man. He's, I definitely think they're going to be taking Nate Robinson to the hospital tonight to get checked out. That was brutal on the part of Jake Paul. And again, I'm not a hater. Shout out to Jake Paul. Good on him for getting the win against an older Nate Robinson. Do I think he has any success in the pro game other than these sort of gimmicky fights? Not really. If you really think about it, what is he? He weighed in at 189 pounds. I mean, you're talking about a guy that would be fighting at the light heavyweight division. When you say light heavyweight, you're thinking about guys like Dmitry Bivol. You're thinking about guys like Artur Beterbiev, Kovalev when he was, still a monster. I mean, that's not, who else? There's also that Irish kid, Joe Smith, the one that knocked Bernard Hopkins clean out of the ring. I mean, that's not a division to mess around in. And he's going to have to really, watch his step as he treads along the boxing ranks, because it could end up being a very, very bad night for him. So, my thoughts overall on the event: looked like a money grab, was a money grab. Was it successful, for Triller or whoever plunked down $50 million to do it? I don't know. When I take into consideration how much they had to pay just for the rights, which is $50 million, and then how much they have to pay each fighter. I mean, I heard Tyson was taking home $10 million. I believe Jones as well, but I could be wrong. And then you had all these, musicians. That's what they call them nowadays. The guys, with the microphone and the questionable outfits. They had those guys. I'm sure they paid them a whole lot of money. You had Snoop on there. You had French Montana. It's just, it looked like a very expensive event. And if Staples Center didn't have some kind of, deal with Triller where they were giving them some money to put their name out there, then I have a hard time. I have a hard time seeing how this was a lucrative event. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe there are enough people that wanted to see Jake Paul and Mike Tyson and Roy Jones. Maybe it did over, 1 million pay-per-view buys. I don't know. But I don't know. I come at it from the perspective of a real boxing fan. I mean, I don't know what these casuals are thinking or how many actually tuned in and, put out $50 to watch this thing. So I don't know. I guess time will tell. I wouldn't feel right paying $50 million for that kind of fight unless I knew for a fact a ton of people were going to tune in and buy that. Let's see here. What we got in here? Marco says, what a fun fight. Tyson looked good. I don't think Jones had any intention of trying to win. Yeah, it didn't look like it, Marco. Paul Martinez says, wish our casinos were open. When I heard they couldn't knock each other out, I wanted to bet and put money on a draw. Who would have known? LOL. Marco Martinez says, Vinny Pass scorecard was hilarious. Gave Jones 3 rounds and called the rest 10-10. So stupid. All because he lost to Roy Jones. That's probably why he felt that way. Hands down, Mike Tyson still looks good tonight. No lie, he did. He looked pretty good. For his age, he looked great. How's all the knuckleheads? Shout out. Love all, hate none. Thank you for being in here, man. He says, bro, you're awesome guy. Wish you success with your goals. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, man. Marco Martinez says, that event seemed really expensive. I wonder if they made a profit. Tyson probably got paid pretty well, but also the performers. Not my cup of tea, but Wiz, Snoop, YG, and others put on a mini concert. I think that's what they were hoping to do, and they were hoping to maybe get their money back on all that star power. I'm not sure if they did it, though. I'd be curious to hear what the numbers look like. Let's see here. Moses CP says, we all know Mike won that fight, but these money-hungry boxing Luciferians want to grab our money for the second time. 100%. That's 100%. Modelo time, my boy. Shout out George Estrada. I don't have Modelo tonight, but I got to get some soon. I don't think Jones would get the Tyson fight again, says Marco Martinez. I think Holyfield would be a real fun fight. Oh, man, that would be incredible. My rent is due. I need super chat. Says, I have respect for the two legends, but I wasn't hyped for the fight. I would if it was 25 years ago, but can't wait for Canelo versus Smith. That's going to be an incredible fight. And I don't know if you guys watched Joyce tonight against Daniel Dubois, man. That was another great fight, too. That was two of the best in the heavyweight division going at it. Joyce came out on top, man. Broke Daniel Dubois' orbital bone with jabs. I mean, crazy. Gus Frank says, the fight wasn't bad. No one got hurt, and they showed shades of what made them great during their primes. Tyson showed his aggression, and Jones showed his boxing IQ. I didn't think Jones did much, though, to be honest with you. I mean, I know what you're saying about the IQ and stuff, but he just looked like he was in there surviving the majority of the time. Love all, hate none. Arthur's a killer, man. I agree. Mad Dog H says, can we get a legend fight with De La Hoya versus Trinidad? Maybe that's what De La Hoya is trying to do. Maybe he's trying to come back into Mike Tyson's Legends Only League. Who knows? Marco Martinez says, Jake Paul isn't trying to be a real pro. He wants to collect checks from these gimmick fights. It seems to be working. He's not trying to get in the rankings. Well, I mean, he's definitely getting his money, so. CNN just reported that they have stopped the judging. Roy Jones will be announced as the winner by Don Lemon in the morning. Donna Lemon, says Jay Warenberg. Hilarious. Noob needs to call every boxing fight from now on. LOL, says Jorge Estrada, laughing at Mad Dog for saying that. Jay Warenberg says, rib Joe Rogan. Wow, fucking crazy news. First Nipsey Hussle, then Maradona. Now this, get out of here. Get out of here. Stop scaring me like that. Oh my goodness. Let me see what's going on. Hold on. I'm getting a ton of texts and stuff. Marco Martinez says, Snoop was legendary tonight. Looks like two of my uncles fighting in the backyard. I mean, that's something everybody says. I don't think that's something that creative. It's just Snoop that said it, so it sounds funny. Mo Barazi said, this event reminds me of the Affliction fight card, except Affliction had real fighters. Ouch. says Mo Barazi. Love all, hate none, says not me. I watched it for free. Oh my goodness. Joy Rodriguez says, I think the draw was a gimmick in the contract. I wouldn't doubt it. Love all, hate none, says you're welcome. Alex Chavez says, I was correct, fighters rep. This event as great entertainment, must-see TV. Shout out to all the knuckleheads from Yuma, Arizona. Big shout out to Yuma, Arizona. Man, that was just goofy, you guys. I mean, that whole event, I don't know, man. I enjoyed, obviously, again, watching Tyson do some stuff, but and Roy Jones looked tired as shit to me. He looked like he didn't want to even be in there. Nate Robinson, man, I'm still worried about that guy. I'm glad I watched the Fight for Fear on YouTube. Shout out to all my bootleggers. Oh my God. Yeah, it was just a messy night, you guys. So yeah, I mean, again, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, the bell notification icon next to it. Join Knucklehead Nation. I don't have much more, man. That's all I wanted to say about this fight. There's one thing I wanted to say, though. I had a bit of a conspiracy theory / prediction that I made on the Joe Joyce fight tonight. And if you guys watched my Tyson versus Jones prediction, you would have heard what I said. I thought Joe Joyce was going to lose tonight by controversial decision. I want you guys to pay attention to what I'm saying here. I picked Joe Joyce to lose tonight by a controversial decision. And I said that because I actually thought he was the better fighter, and in most people's eyes would win. What happened tonight, and the reason I said that, let me be very clear. The reason I said that was because Joe Joyce is a bit of an older guy and got into the boxing game a bit later. By the time he got into the pro game, he was a bit older than your usual guy. Daniel Dubois, this young, upcoming, skyrocketing young talent. Excuse me. And I felt like the entire narrative was, maybe not the narrative, but I felt like the intent, right? The underlying intent of the fight was kind of similar to what they did to Manny Pacquiao, right? When he fought Timothy Bradley. Or maybe Teofimo when he fought Lomachenko. It was the young, surging prospect / star going up against a slightly older guy, maybe to try to get him out of there and look very good in making him his stepping stone. And that didn't happen tonight. Instead, what happened tonight was that Joe Joyce got the win and kept it out of the judge's hands. Now, this is what I want to say about that theory and why I think that my suspicions on that being the case, that they were trying to use Joe Joyce as a stepping stone for Daniel Dubois. If you look at the judges' scorecards, I feel like it confirms my suspicions because everybody watching that fight had it very close. I think most people thought maybe Joyce was ahead a couple rounds or so. And the fight was stopped in the 10th round. However, one of the judges scored the fight for Daniel Dubois by 8 rounds. 8 rounds. So for me, they were just trying to get Joe Joyce out of there. And I think that's 100% proof. And that's crazy. That's crazy to me. Let me see here. Vinny Paz is the boxer who did not land on Roy Jones for a round, right? That's correct. That's correct. Jay Warrenberg says Tyson could have knocked him out at any time after round 1. He stayed to the body, went headhunting, and finished him in 2 or 3 shots. Joyce's jab was fire tonight, says Mad Dog. I agree, man. He just kept throwing that thing over and over. Tyson demostró que todavía le queda polvora. He's still good. Yeah, he's still good. Kevin from Chicago says, Jake Paul stole the show, has Twitter shook, LOL. Gus Freak says, I wonder how much they paid Stylebender to commentate on the event. That's interesting, for real. Godly Rocco says, Mike Tyson could beat some fighters today. Maybe low-level guys. Yeah, for sure. Cheddar 323 says Adesanya probably did it for free. Kevin from Chicago says they were ready to rob Joyce 100%. 8 round, shaking my head. You believe that, Mad Dog? I still can't get over that, man. We're going to have to make a video on that topic by itself tomorrow. You know, that's just wild to me. Kevin from Chicago says, I couldn't listen to Adesanya. Listen to him say there's levels to this shit over and over. What's enough? Knuckleheads, that's all I got for you guys, man. I'm not going to keep this one long. I'm about to knock out. But appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit the subscribe button, the bell notification icon next to it. Join Knucklehead Nation. Hit the like button. And join me on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. And today, starting today or yesterday, we started a TikTok page. You believe that? We're on freaking TikTok. Just go on Fighters Rep on all those things. All you got to do is look for Fighters Rep. Add me. I'd greatly appreciate it. You can, reach out to me personally. Especially on Instagram, most of the time I'm on there. We've got Ivan Calderon, really good kid running our social media stuff, but it gets to me too. If you guys ever want to chat or whatever, you can hit me up on Instagram. Please follow me there. That's all I have to say. You guys have a great night. I will see you guys tomorrow. And just so you know, all the social media handles at Fighters Rep, all of them. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, it's all just Fighters Rep. That's all you got to look for. Much love to you.